Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany and I am the creator of Stop Being a Selfish Bitch. So let me just give you a little background information on why I started this project. So I've been a self-love advocate and a life coach and a wellness coach for the past 5 years now. And I was journaling and blogging late last year when I had the realization that by not having a self-love practice, by not pushing ourselves to reach our potential, by playing small and not sharing our truths and our passion with the world, we are actually being incredibly selfish. Now, frequently when I talk about having a self-love practice or I do something that's self-loving for me, I get comments from people that I know, random people on the internet, that I'm being narcissistic or I'm being a selfish bitch. And so I want to throw out the incredibly radical suggestion that by not having self-love and by not believing in yourself and standing strong in your power and in your intelligence and in your beauty and in your truth and sharing your passions with the world, that's when you're being a selfish bitch. And I think selfish bitch just has a whole bunch of negative connotations around it that I want to change. So this project initially started out as me fully believing in myself for the next 365 days. If you don't know me, I've recently just moved back to Canada after living in Australia for 8 years. In Australia, I underwent a massive and magical transformation, both spiritual, physical, emotional, mental. There's not one part of me really that's still the same, except I have the same blue eyes. But really every other part of me is different. And so coming back to Canada, that's brought up a lot of just a lot of perturbation or unease for me as to how I would settle back into life with my family and friends here. The other part of my journey is that coaching has always been my side hustle. It's been the thing that I've done on the side of owning other businesses and working with and for other people. But in coming back to Canada, I decided that I didn't want it to be my side hustle anymore because it's the thing that I'm most passionate about. And honestly, it's the thing that I'm best at. I am good at helping people transform their life and change their opinions of themselves. And I'm really, really good at helping people let go of the past. And so I don't want it to be a side hustle anymore. I want it to be my full-time hustle. And I think there's a lot of coaches out there who put out the perception, and I have been told by other coaches to put out the perception that I have it all together. And yes, I've worked through some pretty traumatic shit, if I'm being honest. I've worked through the child abuse that I went through at the hands of my stepmom. I've worked through the sexual harassment that I've dealt with. I've worked through being cheated on by a partner, and I've worked through my miscarriage. I've come to terms with all of those and seen those as redirections in my life to push me to where I am now. But every time that we grow and evolve to a new level, whether that's a new level of relationships, a new level of self-love, self-appreciation, and self-understanding, or a new level of finances in the bank, there are obstacles that we have to overcome. And nobody is ever gonna have it all figured out. If you had it all figured out and you had your shit completely together, then you wouldn't be alive anymore because there wouldn't be a purpose to being here. Our human journey is all about figuring it out and learning the lessons that you need to hit that next level. And so originally I was going to make this a project that was a private account, only visible to my friends and family and the people that I chose to allow into seeing my journey, because it's going to be raw and it's going to be unfiltered, and there's going to be daily posts and videos about what I've done to make myself uncomfortable, but to take myself to the next level. And in believing in myself and knowing that no matter how uncomfortable a situation is or how unprepared I feel, that I know I have the resources I need to make that task or that goal happen. And there's probably gonna be some ugly crying at some point. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm an ugly crier. And there are gonna be days when I don't put on makeup before I do a video, or where I don't clean the house so that everything looks perfect. And I was watching a video by Oprah last night where she talked about when she started to get really successful, she started to ask herself what was her intention for everything that she did. And so when I sat down last night and I started thinking about what is my intention for having a video and photo diary of this 365-day journey, I realized that I would be being a selfish bitch if I kept it all to myself. Because my intention for everything that I do is to empower women, children, men, everyone across the world to live their truth every single day and to reconnect with themselves in the most honest and beautiful and pure way possible. And so that's why when I've stumbled with my words in this video or my dog's walking around in the background, I haven't stopped the video, because this is going to be unfiltered and raw. You are going to see every aspect of my journey. And for me, vulnerability has been a thing that I've struggled with in the past. And so this is going to be the utmost vulnerable that I can be, because I'm going to be sharing everything. I am a very private person, so even in making this video, it's uncomfortable for me to think about that I'm going to share those uncomfortable parts of my journey when I'm not in control, and I'm not in control of how that message gets out. But I think when we become vulnerable and share our pure, true selves, unfiltered selves with people, that's what's the most powerful for people around us, and that creates the most amount of change. I mean, one of the reasons that we love Brene Brown is because she keeps it real, right? Like, she has a book called I Thought It Was Just Me, and it was a bestseller. The fact that people buy a book to learn about all the things that they thought just happened to them but happens to the entire world, or thought processes that they thought happened to everyone, that should say something about how hidden we are. And so for me, this is about me being vulnerable and sharing my truth and hoping to inspire you to stand fully in your own level of self-belief and self-love and self-worth over the next 365 days. And the question that underlies this whole project is, where would I be in 365 days if I fully believed in myself every single day for that year? What would happen if I stopped self-sabotage and if I stopped playing small and I stepped in and I believed in myself? Where would my life be? So from February 1st, 2018 to February 1st, 2019, we'll have a look. Now, I wrote something in a meditative workshop a year ago, or a couple months ago, last year. And I thought that this was going to be the basis of my book. Now that I've reread it, it really honestly relates to what we're doing here with this project. And so I just wanted to read it for you and share it with you. So the question in the meditation was, what are we on this earth for? What is our purpose? And we were asking our higher self, and so the answer is coming from my higher self. So when it says you, I'm talking about me. You need to share the truth of all of us and show them how to be authentic again. Show by example that it's okay to talk about your pain, and that through sharing our pain, we can heal as a world and come together in understanding. Coming together in understanding is more powerful than uniting against a cause, because uniting against a cause is just a limited engagement. The unification only lasts for the duration of the problem. After we solve the problem, we go back to living behind our shields and telling untruths. We need to write about intuition and how real it is. It exists. It's in each and every one of us. We need people to get back in touch with those feelings, to understand them, acknowledge them, nourish and cherish them, because those feelings are our deepest truth. We are so disconnected from who we are and what we want, what we're meant to do. We get scared when life is easy or we're in flow, and we don't trust that life is meant to be this way. We're skeptical of easy because we're used to a world of ulterior motives and unreciprocal gain. We need to connect intimately, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually if we have any hope of saving ourselves, our passions, and our lives. We need to inspire future generations to bring forth themselves and share it boldly with the world. There's no use in hiding. Hiding leads to depression. Hiding is regret in the future. Hiding is playing small, not understanding yourself. And if you can't understand yourself, how can you expect to understand other people? If we don't know who we are, and really truly without all the fuss and the muck, we don't know who is good for us and who is bad. And without knowing who we are, we're living life like a lottery, like a game of Russian roulette, hoping and praying when we pull the trigger we get a bullet of truth. And so this video and photo project for the next year, for the next 375 days, is my bullet of truth with you. What does it look like when we stop playing small, when we do the things that we know we need to do to take our business, to take our love, to take ourselves to the next level, even though it makes us uncomfortable? Where will we end up and what will happen? So I really hope that you join me on this journey. You can join me through my Instagram account, Stop Being a Selfish Bitch, or through my YouTube account. And I can't wait to see where we all end up in the next year. See ya.